If you have kids together, or you share a house, or you work in the same building, and someone told you just go no contact, you probably wanted to punch them because you're thinking, that's cute, I see this person every day. So let's talk about real life. Look, no contact doesn't always mean zero physical contact. Sometimes that's impossible. What it really means is zero emotional access, and that's different. If you share children, you're going to communicate, period. You have to. That's adult life. But you don't have to discuss feelings. You don't have to revisit the relationship. You don't have to process the breakup every Tuesday at 7 p.m. You keep it logistical. School, schedule, health, money. That's it. I mean, think of it like a business arrangement. Polite, focused, clear, no emotional bleed. The mistake people make is they think, well, we have to talk because of the kids, and suddenly they're discussing why it ended, who hurt who, whether there's still a chance. That's not about the kids. That's about attachment trying to survive. Now, shared property, same thing. You divide what needs dividing, you communicate what needs communicating. You don't use shared assets as an excuse to stay emotionally intertwined. Honestly, a lot of people stretch out logistics because it gives them an excuse to keep a thread alive. And I get it, it's scary to fully separate, but you can't heal while staying emotionally entangled just because there's paperwork involved. Now, let's talk about the hardest one, seeing them every day at work. That one's brutal because your brain gets visual stimulation constantly. Here's the shift. No contact at work means professional contact only. You don't linger. You don't joke the way you used to. You don't sit near them at lunch. You don't accidentally bump into them in the hallway. You make it clean, short, neutral, respectful, and then you redirect your attention. Let me tell you something. Your nervous system doesn't care why you're seeing them. It just knows you're seeing them. So if you can't remove physical proximity, you remove emotional availability. That means no flirting, no subtle emotional testing, no looking at them to see if they're looking at you. You act as if the romantic channel is closed. And yeah, it feels awkward at first. It feels stiff. It feels unnatural. But that's because you're rewiring. Now, here's where people mess this up. They say, I'm doing no contact, but internally they're waiting for a sign, waiting for regret, waiting for them to miss them. That's not no contact. That's silent hoping. No contact with kids involved, property involved, work involved. It requires internal discipline. You can't control exposure, but you can control engagement. And engagement is what fuels attachment. Quick pause. If this is helpful, like the video, subscribe, share it with someone who's stuck in this weird, half-detached situation. It helps more than you think, and it tells me this kind of content matters. Okay, back to it. Here's something important. When children are involved, the goal isn't emotional revenge. It's emotional maturity. You're modeling stability. You're showing your kids that even when something ends, adults don't spiral publicly. That doesn't mean you don't feel pain privately. It means you handle it with structure. Now, shared property, if you're living in the same house temporarily, boundaries become physical. Separate rooms, separate routines, separate emotional spaces, no late night, how are you really feeling talks. You're coexisting, not reconnecting. And if you work together, here's a rule I like. If it wouldn't be appropriate with any other coworker, it's not appropriate with them. That keeps you safe. I mean, you don't share your emotional breakdown with the guy in accounting, so don't share it with your ex either. This isn't about being cold. It's about protecting your recovery. Because here's the truth. If you keep accessing them emotionally, even in small doses, your brain stays attached. It doesn't care that you're just talking about the kids. It registers connection, and connection delays detachment. So your job isn't to eliminate contact. Your job is to eliminate emotional intimacy. That's the difference. Now, what if they're trying to pull you back in? They send something nostalgic. They ask, do you ever think about us? They try to blur the lines. You stay calm. You redirect. You keep it neutral. You don't attack. You don't engage. You keep it logistical. That's strength. And let me be honest. This is harder than full no contact sometimes because full no contact is clean. This is controlled exposure. It requires awareness. It requires restraint, but it works. Your attachment doesn't die because you stop loving them. It fades because you stopped feeding it. And feeding it means emotional access. So if you're in a situation where you can't disappear completely, don't panic. Just shift the definition. No contact means no emotional processing with them. No relationship talk. No late night vulnerability. No mixed signals. You're allowed to be kind, you're allowed to be civil, you're not allowed to reopen the wound every time you see them. And yeah, some days will feel heavy. Some days seeing them will sting. That's normal. But the sting fades faster when you don't add extra contact on top of it. You don't need dramatic gestures. You need consistency. And if you're thinking, I'm not sure if I can do these boundaries alone, that's okay. This stuff is layered. If you want one-on-one support, real structured guidance, you can book a session with me through the link in my bio or reach out to me on PopCall. Chat, voice, video, whatever works. You don't have to navigate complicated breakups alone. Just don't confuse unavoidable contact with necessary closeness. They're not the same. And once you understand that, it gets clearer.